Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Andy bringing you a video lesson, not really video lesson, but like a monthly recap of my first month of the year. So, this was a pretty good month for me. This is the way I want to start off the year. Finished the month with, $12.2 thousand in gross profit after fees and commissions and everything. Ended up 11,300. So my goal for the month was 20 grand, but I'm still very happy with the way that I executed. You can see about I think 16 green days and one red day here in January. So, and I just want to kind of go start from the first week and kind of give a little bit of a summary of how I was trading and how things were going on in this first month of the year. So you can see my net gain right here, 11.3 thousand. I'm very happy with my risk reward. As much as I'm trying to push gains, I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to maximize my setups. I'm also trying to limit my drawdowns in my account. So my smallest loss this month was $854. I mean, my largest loss was $854 after my largest loss being 2 grand the previous month. So really, sticking to risk reward and, trying not to have these huge drawdowns in my account that not only are going to mess up my month as far as like my net profit, but also are going to ruin my confidence and my mental capital. So it's important to keep those losses small. And like Tim Sykes talks about all the time, like, cut those losses quickly. Average winning trade, $541. Average loss is $136. So you can kind of see my wins. Average win is already three times, at least three times what my average loss is. So that's what I like to see. A nice winning percentage here, 56%. And the other thing I want to pull from this is my profit factor. So in my opinion, like my profit factor is a measurement of my real-time risk reward. So basically profit factor of about 5 is for every $5 every dollar I lose, I make $5. So I'm basically my gross how do I put it? My gross profit is 5 times what I lost on a gross level. So my profit factor for the month is always 3. So I'm basically my gains are 3 times as much as my losses, but this month is 5, which is just astounding to me. I love that, and I'm hoping next month I can even push that even further. But so let's get into like and also my profit factor for the previous month was only 2.5. So even though I made I think a little less than 1,000. I made like $1,000 less this month than last month. I traded very efficiently, and I had less of my A plus setups appear, but I played them well, and I also limited the drawdowns in my account. And in my opinion, I traded this month as if I'm here to stay. As if I want to take this seriously, as if I want to be this to be an actual career. Even though I made a bunch of mistakes and I left a lot on the table, which I'll get into later, this is the way I want to, kind of start off the year. So this first week of the month, you can kind of see in January was kind of rough. I think I was down about $1,000 after this week. Just not really trading well. My OTC setups, which is like my bread and butter, what I want to be trading all the time, those weren't really there. And when I would take very subpar setups in the OTC land, and then I'd be like, all right, like I'm trying to make some money coming off a good month, and I would force trades in the listed land, trades that weren't really there. So I took losses here, and you can kind of see. You look at when I'm trading my best, I'm really trading the least. But these 2 red days right here, I'm like trading the most, and those are my worst days. So I try to force things in the listed land when it's really just better for me when my A plus setups aren't sitting around. I don't need to force the subpar OTC setups, and I don't need to force the subpar listed setups. So, I lost some money up in here. And then on this day, I was down on the 7th right here on Thursday or whatever. And instead of keep on trading, I just kind of cut it. And I was like, you know what, let me get back to my process. And then after that, the rest of the month started to flow kind of nicely. And that's the thing about that's so important about journaling your trades. It's not just so that you can see like your executions, but I need to know what is affecting me mentally to make these types of errors early on in the month. Because what used to happen to me is that like I'll make errors early on in the month, and that's going to, and when I don't attack those errors, whether it be psychological errors or even like just, you know, trading errors, those lingering emotions and thought patterns are what ruin the rest of your month. But when you journal your trades every single month, then what you'll see is that you can catch these things pretty quickly and turn your month around, you know, in the snap of a finger. That's why, in my opinion, it's so important that, you know, I journal my trades every single day. And I also like, you know, write about, you know, how I'm feeling, what's my thought processes, you know, what's bothering me, things like that, even things in my personal life that are going to affect, you know, my trading. So on all these days right here, I'm journaling or whatever. And this day I cut the day early, and then I started bouncing back Friday up until the rest of the month. Now, on this Friday right here, I had, you know, a trade that I scratched around for $500, but it could have been like, you know, a $2,000-$3,000 day, and that day kind of scarred me. I'll get into that later because, you know, that kind of set the tone for the rest of the month after I was able to come back from that play. And, you know, the rest of the month, I was not trading too much, but, you know, I took advantage of my OTC setups. Like they started showing up, and they started showing up big, and, you know, I was just there for them. And because I was able to, you know, recorrect my thought patterns early on in the month, the rest of the month was entirely green. So I'm just going to get down into some of the actual plays that I made that were the most important, actually, sorry, this is the wrong one. Okay, so let me retract. So this is kind of that first Friday right here, the play that I should have made a lot of money on. And the theme from the OTCs is that you've got sub penny companies that are coming from, you know, OTC. I mean, they're coming from sub penny land, and they're going from like 0.002 to 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, 12 cents, like absolute crazy type of price action. And this is another worthless company that, you know, because artificial intelligence is hot, they started running a little bit the previous day. And then on this day right here at like 3 a.m, they put out like a press release about, you know, going live with their artificial intelligence. Now, this play kind of scarred me because, you know, I didn't really assess the play correctly. If you look at this chart, it's kind of like, you know, it had this monster move from 2 cents to 4 cents, you know, 100% move. And then it's just like higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, you know, all the way up until 7 cents. So I could have made an insane amount of money on this play, but, you know, I just didn't properly assess it. And I just took scalp. And then once this thing kind of got, you know, I would say, all right. So once this thing kind of got into this range right here, I was kind of like, all right, like this thing is kind of overextended. And I felt terrible because, you know, this is the type of plays that I had been waiting for all month when I was, you know, scratching around for the first 4 or 5 days on listed. But this thing made a 183% move in a couple hours, and I caught barely any of the move. So I went to that weekend just kind of like annoyed that I let that opportunity go. And that was on this day right here. So then we fast forward to this day right here. And, you know, I was down a couple $100 on that day. I think like $600 on that day. But I saw the potential for this OZSC play. And I have a whole video about this play, but I saw the potential on this play where we had like a huge morning washout, but then, kind of reversed and it got washed down again. But it started holding around VWAP this day or whatever. And I saw on Twitter that they put out the company's like tweeting about rumors that they're going to be with Tesla and stuff like that. So I saw the potential for this to be a huge, huge gainer. So I kind of was patient, and that was my the thing I liked best about this play was that it tested my patience, and traders will tell you all the time, like, yo, you have to evolve to new patterns as the market makes them available, because, my personal preference is to get these OTC plays right out of the gate, to nail them within a couple minutes. But this play took a couple hours to develop, and I got in right here, but for a better part of an hour, I had to be patient and wait for the price action to finally confirm. And then once power hour hit, I got a nice move from, look at this, a 30% move. I was up $3,000 on my position. And I had some mechanical errors, technical errors, and this thing just I ended up having to get out of my position right here on the bottom. So in this bottom right here, but I still locked in $2,000. So that was my perfect bounce back from the CLWD trade that I had completely missed. So I let this one kind of ride. Now going into, the rest of the month, it was just very straightforward action. Like the next play I'm going to go over is going to be, this trade, not this trade. Okay, so the next trade I'm going to go over is really the exact next day, my bread and butter setup. Like I got the OZSC ended up closing strong. Obviously, they had Tesla rumors. We got a gap up the next day, and then people are selling their People are selling their shares because they got a gap up the next morning. I buy the dip, and then around right there, and then I sell somewhere in this area right here. Locked in $2,000 on that. So, basically back-to-back $2,000 days. And that's my bread and butter setups. These strong OTCs with the news, with the catalyst. They closed strong the previous day. And, I assessed the volume right out of the open. And, that's something that I couldn't do when I first started. But now it's very easy for me to see, all right, does this company have the gas? Does it have the amount of trades? Does it have the volume to go the distance that really I needed to go? So I nailed that play. And then, continuing to come into the rest of the month, I had OZSC. And that's one thing that you're going to notice about these OTCs. The OTCs are what I'm just like so comfortable with. And then later on in the month, on the 25th, same exact stock. Like you'll notice, like in these OTCs, the same exact company will be in play for a very long time. You don't know how long the hype is going to last, but it's important to just ride the momentum of these stocks and sell into strength. So the next day, like look at the volume on this 1 minute candle. As soon as the open came out, like I knew that that it had the volume. 21 million shares traded in that first minute. And the thing about OTCs is that they're so one directional. Like when they have huge liquidity, huge volume, huge price action, like it is they just go one way, a very long way before they pull back at all. So as soon as this thing decided that it was going to go to the upside, I took an entry, right down in here, and I'm selling too early, obviously, and I'm selling in right there. And that's another, $2,000 locked in. So continuing to the rest of the month, I had my best trade was BMIX. And it's literally the same exact thing over and over. Like I have a company that in the beginning of the day ran from sub penny level all the way to 6 cents, like in another hot sector. Tesla's hot right now. So it's like, green energy, lithium battery, ion, this thing closed hot. And out of the gate, like I know how to assess this volume right when the market opens. And I saw that it was going to go straight up. Grabbed, grabbed full size pretty much probably on this second candle right here. On the second candle right here, and then sold right there. Every single time, not capturing the whole move, but it's such a predictable pattern that I'm just rinse repeating over and over again that, those few patterns you can see, they provided like the majority of my month, like $2,000, about $2,000 here, 1,500 here, 2,700 here, 2,300 here. My A plus setups is what's making me my money, and I haven't missed on them at all. So going into next month, it's like I'm increasing my full size on those setups because I've tracked the data to know how good I am on those setups. I've tracked the data to know, what, how to play it, how to assess it. And since I'm not losing on them, I need to increase my size because I don't know how long this market is going to last. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to get plays like this that are entirely stress-free. So I'm going to be increasing my full size on those plays. And another play is, what was it? BLSP. So BLSP was a stock. I mean, look at this same exact thing over and over in the OTC land. Like it doesn't take a genius to be able to play these stocks, but it does take screen time to be able to act and react the way that I can with these OTC stocks. And it's not because I'm a specialist, just like, you got to put in the screen time. You put in the screen time or whatever, and you'll be able to know that you're seeing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So what's the theme? This is I don't even remember, honestly. Okay, so clean energy. Biden's getting elected. All the green energy is still hot. The lithium ion plays, whatever. So this thing gets a beautiful spike out of the open. I wasn't really watching it then, but I'm noticing like, throughout the day, like it had some resistance right here at this half-cent level at 0.015. But when it broke above there, it held. It started to hold its morning gains and stuff like that. And this stock frustrated the hell out of me because I knew it had the potential to make a huge afternoon move, but every single time it started to break out, like right here, it breaks above 2 cents past high day, and it gets slammed all the way back down. Breaks above 2 cents again, gets slammed all the way back down. And I gave up and I stopped trading right here. But something I realized is that you got to be watching out for a stock to do something that it hasn't been able to do before. So later in the day, this white line is the 2 cent area. This is the first time all day it's been able to hold that white line. So if I would have been patient, if I hadn't stayed at the computer and exhausted my mental cap throughout the day, I would have been patient enough and been able to see, oh, snap, like this is the first dip it's ever had where it held that 2 cent level. And then what happens? You get a move from 2 cents all the way to 3 cents into the close. So that's another thing that I learned from this month is like, if your setup is not there, like, take a break, because I was absolutely exhausted and I missed literally a 100% move into the close in like less than an hour because I was so exhausted from just staring at the computer all day and getting chopped around, making a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there, when I could have just, honed in on the end of the day like I like to with these OTCs, that first hour and that last hour. So that's really the majority of, where my money came from this month. And then, I also had a play on BDRM. Oh, snap. So BDRM, exact same thing that I've been playing, all month. And kind of show you the chart on this one. This stock, let's see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. So this stock, they put out a press release about some new drug that they had or whatever, and the stock went absolutely crazy. Same exact thing. Same thing I'm looking to play next month. From 0.002 in one day to finishing the day all the way at, what is that? At 3 cents. The stock ran over 1,000% in a day. So what happens the next day? Same exact thing. Gaps up, has a little bit of a sell-off from people taking their profits. And then look at this move. Like, this was rinse, repeat all month, a 150% move with no pullback. And that just goes to show the type of market environment that we're in this month. So going into next month, it's like, I'm not trying to be like, if this action continues, which in my opinion hasn't showed signs that it's going to slow down yet, but I don't know. Instead of buying here and selling like right here, like I did for like $2,000 profit, 20%, I'm increasing my size and I want to be scaling out. I want to be buying here. Maybe I'll sell half my position right here and then let the other pieces ride so I can get a, large percent of the move. Because what you'll hear big time traders like Jack Kellogg and Michael Spinoza talk about is like, if you don't take a little bit of profits on like some of these types of moves and stuff like that, you're going to lack the patience to be able to let that thing ride. So I want to be selling like half my position and then holding half the position and, selling over here towards the top into like these speed up candles and stuff like that, instead of trying to be like a one hit wonder, because this game of trading is like, it's not an exact science. Like, it's an art. So to give myself the patience, I got to lock something in. Even if I only lock in a third, a quarter, lock something in so that I can stop selling these moves so short. If I can sell some here, then sell some here. Instead of selling all of them at once, sell some here, sell some here. You know what I'm saying? So, that's really the majority of where my month came from this month. So I want to maximize those setups. I can turn, by doing that, just by increasing my size on those A+ setups, I can turn a 10 grand month into a 20 grand month, 2K days into 4K days. So, and then the other thing, which is pretty much, I think the only other thing that I wanted to focus on next month, is maximizing on OTC panic dip buys. When these companies go up like 3-4 days in a row, they eventually have to recorrect themselves. So then, like, AITX went up for a few days in a row, and then I get a washout right here, pure panic, and boom, a 30% bounce. OZSC, look at this panic. Midday, this is boom, a complete panic below VWAP. Like, and then the volume comes in, and right as it's reversing, I want to be able to get size right here. Even if I have to play it for 20% into VWAP or play it past, huge gains, huge opportunity. And that's a pattern that I've been tracking, and I'm going to be looking to play into next month. So I'm happy with my performance, but I also know that I left a whole lot on the table and I can do a whole lot better. So this is my market right now. Like, the OTC market is hot. This is what I want to be doing. And granted, I'm very happy with the efficiency I traded with, but I'm getting ready to really push this thing because I'm very comfortable with the setups that I'm trading, and I'm ready to just, maximize them, better size, taking a better piece of the move, and, just really maximize the opportunity going forward. So that's that. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing like these video recaps every single month, and feel free to hit me up. Like, if you got questions, or even if, you just interested in getting started, and trading and stuff like that. So adios.